What's up guys, I got a brand new video for you today. I'm here with Casey, just behind me there. And we're gonna be shooting with something completely different that I don't typically shoot with. And that's the Canon 5D Mark II with the cheap nifty 50mm f1.8. I'm just curious to see what the old technology can, I'm just curious to see what this old technology can do. I'm actually vlogging on the best camera that Canon makes right now, which is the R5. And yeah, so you're gonna see how that looks throughout this entire video. So let's go. I even have the strap on this camera, which I never do. All right, back to primitive technology where we have no eye detection autofocus. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna do a headshot first, get exposure. Triple double check the focus to make sure.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Chin up just a little, so I can see your eyes. Yeah. Nice. Man, I love the sound of this camera. It's got a vibe.
It's cool.
It's got a vibe. I think I need to adjust the white balance so it's a little cool on the cool side. Okay, we're going 5400 Kelvin. This should look better. Yes. Okay. So the 5D Mark II doesn't have that lengthy of a spec list. It's a 21 megapixel full frame camera. It has 9 autofocus points, and that's basically where the specs end. But it does have 1080p video, and that was like the biggest feature of this camera at the time. Back in 2008, 1080p full frame video was a big thing, and I think that Canon really set the bar high with this camera. You know, 21 megapixels was a lot at the time, as well as 1080p video, and this camera still takes amazing images, as you'll see throughout this video. This camera shoots like 3 frames per second, and if I'm wrong, then I'll fix it in the description or I'll fix it in the video. But it's pretty slow, but it could be cool to get you just kind of like spin around in the shot even. There's a tag showing through your hair. I got 3 frames per second. Nice, let me check these, let's see what we got. I like that pose, just look up towards the sun, sort of. You don't have to look into the sun. It's more just to get the shadow off your eyes. Yeah, focus recompose really slows down the way you shoot. Oh no, I'll grab it. It's fine. I kind of liked when you kind of had it just bent a little bit.
Oh, like, okay.
Yeah, like you're almost wearing it like a cape. I would keep looking towards the sun more. Nice. So some good history is that the 5D Mark II was actually my first professional full frame camera that I ever owned. The one I'm using right now isn't my exact 5D Mark II, but I just picked this one up. But my first full frame camera was a 5D Mark II, and that's kind of where things took off for me when I started doing a lot more professional shoots and things like that. And looking back at those images, they still look as good as anything that I can shoot today. And since I've been shooting with all these newer cameras, it's kind of nice to see how this older technology still holds up today. We have to set our expectations low on how this screen looks because it's 2008 technology. I like that, hold that for a second. So same thing, but like tip the hat with the other hand. That's nice, that's a great shot. I used to shoot with this camera.
Yeah.
For many years, but it's been a while.
Watching.
Yeah, do we want to go up against that rock? We can.
Up against Dwayne.
Go up against Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. What do we think, the taller rock probably? Yeah, I'm thinking more like leaning your back into it, kind of. So yeah, I'm thinking more of like kind of like a more like a slouchy type of like, if you had a cigarette in your mouth kind of thing, you know? Yeah, I like that. I'm not gonna go too far down anyway, so it's fine. Nice. There's a little piece of hair that's coming down on, yeah, that side right there. Yep. There's a snake in my boot. Y'all come back now, you hear? And another really cool thing about this camera was the community from Magic Lantern, and they were able to actually hack this camera and put features on it that it never came with. And if you haven't really heard of Magic Lantern, it was basically like a second operating system that could run over top of Canon's operating system that you put on the card. And basically it opened up all these different options like focus peaking, which this camera never had. And that was the big reason why I put Magic Lantern on my original 5D Mark II. But now since then, since years have passed, I've been able to open up way more things like raw video on this. And this camera can shoot 14-bit raw video. It can do 1080p, but it can also do 3K. And what it does is it just crops into the sensor. It doesn't have as much, low light capabilities, but in the right light, it actually looks really nice. So what do you think? What outfit you want to switch to?
I think I want to do, it's like the white shawl.
Okay. We're getting into golden hour. There's a spot down through here. Just like kind of in front of these weeds, I guess. It's kind of, well, you're going to be in that area. I might have to shoot off into this corner here, possibly. Nice. This lighting's really nice right now. It's like the perfect kind of light. That one shot's amazing. All right. Look off towards the sun just a little more. Actually really impressed. The autofocus is like actually really fast, way faster than I remember it. But this autofocus system is pretty primitive. It only has 9 autofocus points and the center one's cross type, and most photographers will just leave it on the center autofocus point and do focus recompose. And I'll kind of show you what focus recompose is in a bit later, if you don't know what that is. That's just how it was back then.
It was weird back then.
That's just how she sounded back then. Oh, we've still got a bit of light, but I'm gonna move this camera. Hey, thanks to today's sponsor, GearFocus.com. GearFocus is a good place to buy and sell used camera gear, kind of like this 5D Mark II, or even some EF lenses if you're looking for them. If you have extra camera gear laying around, like an extra camera or lens, it's a good place to make some extra cash. Or if you're looking for a camera lens, it's also a good place to buy used gear. So once you've set up an account with GearFocus.com, you can start listing your stuff right away. You need to make sure you take some good quality images of the actual item you're selling so the buyer knows exactly what they're getting. Then fill out the description, the category, and the price you're looking to get for your item. Once you're done, your item will be listed, and it's that easy. The buyer and seller can also message each other on the back end to make sure there's open communication. I've actually sold a ton of stuff on there now, and it's nice to not have that hassle of having to meet with people in person. I currently just put some ND filters up, so if you're looking for some of those, make sure to check out my shop. GearFocus handles all the transaction and money side of things, so you know you're safe compared to selling in person through Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, especially now since we shouldn't even be meeting in person anyway. GearFocus only takes a small 3.5% transaction fee, which is amazing compared to eBay's insanely high fees. So make sure to check out GearFocus.com. Make sure to check out my shop. Links are in the description. I will say this, the battery life's amazing on this camera. It's been running for almost like 3 hours. I haven't turned it off because there's not a lot of processing going on, and it's still at half. And who knows how old this battery is. It's the one that came with it. Could even be a 12-year-old battery in it. Nice. So we have different options here with different some configurations, Ooh, that's really nice. The lighting on that. I kind of like this little red barn thing behind you. Where'd you find that prop?
I found it on the ground.
It's a nice prop. I have to be really cautious of. Yo, you look like you're in on farmland right now.
I know.
We're trying to hit that golden hour time. Casey's just changing, but maybe now's a good time to take a look at some of the files on the computer and see what we got. All right, so jumping into Lightroom here, just to take a look at some of the images we just shot. I kind of want to show you the tonality, the color, the sharpness, the detail that this camera can still produce. If we punch in here, look how sharp that is. And there's just something about this grain from the sensor that just looks so nice. And obviously we haven't done any touch-ups on this image, but this actually does have my preset on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off and just kind of show you what this looks like. So this is straight out of the camera. The colors, they're super punchy, super vibrant. It's way too warm. So we're going to pull this back just a little bit. And I might bump the exposure a little bit and drop the highlights. I'm gonna load my preset in here. I think I used the classic CW1, and then I warmed it back up a bit, add a bit more exposure, and I think I dialed back the whites a bit. I don't know if that's exactly what I did, but it's pretty close to what I did. And as you can see, it just has a really nice look to it. I love the color off this camera. I forgot how special this sensor is. And yeah, I just want to show this one quick shot here. As you can see, it's pretty much hard backlit. She's kind of a silhouette because I wanted to save a little bit of these highlights here, but watch what happens when I bump the shadows up. Warm it up a bit, add a bit more contrast. This isn't any presets, this is just straight out of the camera what it looks like. You can drop back some of these highlights. And if I went in here and did some touch up, some dodge and burn and stuff, this image would still look amazing, and that's pretty crazy for a camera that came out in 2008. So the big question is this camera still worth it in 2020? I don't know. I would say maybe if you're a beginner and you want to learn the basics of photography with manual controls and have a camera that's just built like a tank and chunky, and it's going to take great images. Don't get me wrong, it still has a great sensor in it. I love the vibe of it, but the autofocus doesn't compare to newer cameras like eye detection autofocus and stuff like that, so you will lose those conveniences. That said, there's no reason why this can't be a good portrait photography camera or even doing weddings still. I would still take this as a second camera for weddings in case I needed a backup. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you have a 5D Mark II still? Do you shoot with one still? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna end the video here. We're gonna continue shooting into blue hour, but thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs down twice. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next one. So this is the time of day where we have blue hour. It's just after golden hour and sun's down now. You can kind of see it setting back there. But we're gonna shoot along this little fence line here. Where's your gun? Gunslinging. I kind of want to show what focus recompose looks like. Look off towards the left, yeah. Nice, all right, that's a good example of what that looks like. At this point, we could shoot straight off into this direction.
That'd be cool. I like that.
We could even go into the cornfield if you want. I don't feel like walking that far. Oh, you're gonna like these. I'm up to ISO 640. It's getting a little dim in here.
A little dim.
There's not much light. Can I get you to move a little more of that hair out of your face and do the exact same pose? Take off that direction. Yeah.